Hello, knowledge enthusiasts. Get ready to dive into the enriching journey of Prashant, an MBA graduate. As an assistant professor and a PhD scholar in finance, Prashant ventured into data science, mastering Python, SQL, and problem-solving skills with SkilloVilla. His story showcases that anyone, regardless of their age, can thrive with the right commitment and support. Stay tuned to uncover how data science aligned with his academic pursuits and opened up new career possibilities.
Hey, hi Prashant.
Hello, Shruti.
How are you?
I'm very fine, Shruti. Thank you very much for asking. I'm very excited for this video.
I am also very excited to know about your journey. And firstly, thank you so much for giving your time and doing this interview call with us. And before we dive deep into your learning journey with SkilloVilla, let's just know about you. So if you can just tell us about yourself, what did you do in your graduation? And before joining SkilloVilla, what were you doing?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce myself. I am Prashant Chougule. I'm a certified data scientist. I'm an MBA in finance and an MBA in HRM. I am currently working as an assistant professor finance at Amity Global Business School, Pune. I did my graduation from Pune University, BCom, in cost accounting. So being an accounts and finance person through and through. So jumped into data science in July 2022 batch, and it's been a fantastic journey ever since. Learned so much. A lot of the tools that I have learned through this journey, like Python, SQL, problem solving skills specifically, they've really helped me become successful in my current career also. And I'm very excited about what the future brings.
All right, great to hear that you've been having a good time at SkilloVilla. So, how did you develop an interest towards data science?
I'm doing my PhD in finance. The topic is volatility analysis of large cap cryptocurrencies. So this is a very awesome topic which requires analysis of a huge amount of data and draw insight from that. This is exactly what we do in data science. So we make the data sing for us, and that's how I did some research, figured out, there is this fantastic field called data science, and it aligns perfectly with what I'm doing right now. So one of my students did a data analytics course from SkilloVilla. He was also very happy. So when he came back to the campus, he told me, "Arey sir, this is good, you should try this." So I spoke with people at SkilloVilla and they were very helpful. So after that, I decided to go for the data science course, not only because it would help me with my PhD, but also I saw a very viable career option at the end of the tunnel, so to speak.
Okay, all right. So when you were going through the course, since there is a misconception, like people generally find it difficult to understand that people have this question, this norm that I do not belong to a technical background and I've never done coding in my life. So will I ever be able to become a data scientist, or should I pursue the data science course or not? So if you can just help us out in understanding how was your journey with that particular part.
Well, you're right when you say that, yes, this is a misconception that many people have. But then at the end, it depends on a person's level of commitment also. People at SkilloVilla were very helpful. Live classes that we had every weekend, plus the lecture videos that we have on the website, were very helpful, very clear, concise, and many a times they clear a lot of doubts that a student may have. A lot of hand-holding is there. SkilloVilla takes us through the basics step by step. When it comes to Python, let me just tell you that even though SkilloVilla provides a lot of support, but still at the end of the day, you have to do the work yourself with your own hands. Python is a language which is very intuitive. Once you start using that language, it becomes second nature. In any ways, learning any language, you have to start thinking in that language first. So it helps. But then the lectures, the projects that we had, assignments, the minor assignments by Furkan Alam sir. So those were very fantastic. They really helped a lot in gaining confidence with this Python language. SQL was another thing that many people think is very technical, but basically all the people who are comfortable with Excel should also be comfortable with thinking about SQL. And once you start thinking about SQL, it's the next logical step to start using it like a pro. There also, all the lecture videos, the weekend master classes, the live classes, then all the quizzes, the minor assignments, major assignments, all the study material that is available on the website, it helped quite a lot. You have this very fantastic thing called the SQL Playground. So that was very, very awesome. It was very intuitive. I'd never used Excel or Python before in my entire life, but now I feel as if I've been using it for a very long time. So I'm very comfortable with it right now because of all these tools that were available.
Okay, great to hear that, Prashant. Lovely. So you mentioned about the playground. So if you can just give a little bit more clarity for the audience to understand what exactly
Sure.
is this playground.
So SQL playgrounds are actually pretty interesting. So SQL, I believe, was came into existence because Microsoft Excel couldn't handle all the big data, which is a collection of huge databases which have relations with each other and so on and so forth. So you need a specific software, an environment where you can play around with this data, which could be having millions of rows and columns. So one way to do that is use a software like Postgres, SQL. But these are very costly in terms of the space that they acquire on your. So probably many of the data science students found it difficult to find it, install it. So to avoid this issue, we had access to something called as SQL Playgrounds, wherein without having to download anything, install anything on your computer, you could just open that in your internet browser itself, and then you could actually pass the SQL code and play around with, as its name suggests, it's a playground. So
Yeah.
you could play around with the SQL databases, make sense out of them, solve the assignments, basically get a feel of the thing. So it was just like the real thing. You whatever code you could have passed in, let's say PostgreSQL or something, the same thing you would do in that playground. The best part was, like I said, it was very cost effective in terms of memory, and you didn't have to install anything at all. So
Right.
it was fantastic.
Right.
So that was very
Right.
useful, specifically for those students who did not have access to that software. Even though that software was also provided by SkilloVilla, but then downloading that thing, installing that thing, that software on your computer, maybe your computer was not compatible to it, or maybe it couldn't handle that much data, maybe it lagged. So to avoid
Yeah.
all these issues, I guess this was a very viable option.
Okay, great. That's very insightful. I'm sure a lot of people will get an understanding about the playground thing that SkilloVilla offers in their career track. So you mentioned about the live classes. So what role did industry expert mentorship played in your online learning journey?
A very crucial role, if I may say so, because most of the people who would come for the live classes, these are industry experts who've been doing this for a long time. They have seen data in its various forms, they have played around with it, they're very comfortable with this entire process that they were teaching us about. The SkilloVilla video classes, that is like a static platform. So whatever is recorded, that we can see. But then the doubts or something extra, like maybe you use a particular technique to fine tune your data, fine tune your model. But then during the live classes, we could get some extra insights on how to do this one step further. So,
Right.
because you're getting it from the horse's mouth, so to speak, so the skills are directly transferred from experts to us.
Right.
So, that was very useful.
Okay. Adding to what you said, and also you get like a lot of industry insights from the industry experts as well. And you can also understand from their journey. You can create your own roadmap and take inspirations from their journey, and similarly, you can implement the same for yourself.
True. And they know what is exactly happening on the field. So, in addition to whatever theoretical knowledge we are gaining, so some practical insights are also given by them.
Great. So when you were going through the assignments and everything, I'm sure you must have some doubts. There must be some queries and everything. So how do you manage to resolve that?
Well, so we had doubt resolution classes also on Saturdays.
Okay.
So those were also very helpful. Plus, the assignments were designed in such a way that they would not be very difficult for a person who is trying to solve them wholeheartedly. So for a person who wants clear-cut answers, probably the assignments would be very difficult. For a person who knows how to get immersed in that, enjoys the journey of reaching the solution. So yeah, these assignments were really very exciting and very fruitful for them. For me specifically, because apart from the doubt resolution classes where we had people from SkilloVilla who would come in every Saturday, stay with us for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and then listen patiently to all our doubts, give their point of view on that. They would sometimes during Saturday classes we would get extra assignments by some of the people, and those were also pretty interesting. Along with that, there are a lot of other sources available on the LMS which we could access to help us find solutions to these assignments. The major assignments, the capstone projects, they were very interesting. In fact, a person who is solving these assignments, major assignments, as well as the capstone one, would also develop a lot of problem solving skills, along with the Python, SQL, and other data science skills.
All right. So Prashant, like you mentioned that you are pursuing your PhD and you're also an assistant professor in the college. So along with that, how difficult or easy was it to manage the data science career track? And like on an average, how
Uh,
much time you used to give to the platform?
Data science requires you to give at least 1 to 1.5 hours every day. So, if you are asking me per week, so I guess 6 to 7 hours per week would be definitely required. This is in addition to the live classes and the doubt resolution classes that we used to have. We have to understand that data science is not something that would be considered very easy. It is doable, yes, but you have to show commitment towards it, and that commitment has to be in terms of time as well as energy and efforts. So
Correct.
this is definitely required. So I guess a person who is regularly doing this 5 to 7 hours per week should not be an issue. Many
Yeah.
of my friends were in my batch because of their busy schedules. They would dedicate their time during their weekends. I know some of them used to wake up early, sometimes go to sleep late. All those people who put in this investment of time, energy, and efforts, they have definitely reaped rewards.
Definitely. I mean, consistency is the key to success that we
True.
all know. So it's important
True.
that we need to be consistent. It's okay if there are days that you might be occupied with a lot of other work and you can't give your time to the course, but next day it's something that then you have to cover it
I
and
would
that
just
you
like to
need to
add
be
that the
consistent.
course is also scheduled in such a way that it is very easy to
Right.
find time for it. It's just that you have to, and the lecture videos were not very long. They were not very lean. They didn't have anything which was not needed in that video. So they were very
Right.
well made. You also had a lot of reading material which could also be finished within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So yes, if you could dedicate 1 hour, 1.5 hour per day, you could very
Mhm.
easily complete this course on time. So,
Okay.
despite my busy schedule, if I could finish this course on time, I guess anybody can do that.
Right, right. Completely agree. And I've also spoken to a lot of people out there, and
Mhm.
they also say the same thing. You need to be committed, you need to be determined, and you need to be consistent, basically. If you are
Mhm.
not putting your efforts towards learning, then you won't be completing your milestones and you won't be certified on the platform.
And the milestones are also pretty serious. You have this system of strikes. So
Yeah,
3 strikes, and then you feel that clash. So that is also quite motivating. Uh,
right.
I'm very happy to say that I've never had even a single strike. So
Okay, lovely. Strike is nothing but just to ensure that people are completing their milestone and assignments on time and they are disciplined in the entire program. That's the only agenda to strikes. Anyway, so let's talk about your placement journey now that you have started with the placement journey. So currently, what's happening? Like, what's the progress?
we've had that one session with the placement team
Mm-hmm.
where they told us about the further process. I have completed that one very useful course on making your resume. So
Mm-hmm.
that resume building course was very useful for me because my resume was very bad, and I've been actually working since 5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that bad resume was the way it is since 5 years. So I actually got learned a lot about how to make resumes from that course.
Okay.
So now my resume is just one page. It is very lean, very to the point, based on the instructions, the action words, and everything I've actually put in that. And we had to submit that resume on the LMS, and then we got personalized feedback also on that. So based on the feedback, I resubmitted that resume, and now that resume has been accepted. So
Great.
we are waiting for companies to come in, and during this meantime, we are preparing for our interviews. I also
Okay.
had a mock interview with this interview buddy. It was a
Okay.
great experience. I got some very valuable feedback, and I'm working on that right now.
Okay, great. So, as a final word, Prashant, for all those data science and data analytics aspirants, is there any suggestion or any recommendation from your end if they are looking forward to join SkilloVilla's career track?
The only recommendation I could give is trust the process. Follow the schedule that is given, and LMS has a schedule from this date to this date. You have to finish this much. So
Yeah.
follow that. Complete your milestones on time. Be consistent. Don't be a weekend warrior or a month-end warrior. Is what I would say. If you are lagging behind, then LMS tells you that Arey, you're lagging behind. In fact, SkilloVilla people also give you a call and tell you, Arey, you're lagging behind. So heed that. Make use of these reminders, and stay on top of the entire thing. Read a lot of books connected with your subject, get involved with the subject. That is one, in fact, that's a lot of recommendations, if I may say so. Yeah.
Great. I'm so happy to have this call with you, Prashant. And thank you so much for doing this call. And it was lovely speaking to you. And generally, it was like an honest review that you've given. So great to hear that. All the best for your placements now. And once you are placed, then you will be a part of our SkilloVilla alumni membership where you can get placement assistance again if you want to, anytime you want to change into some other things. So that is there for you. And apart from that, we are just a call away. Let us know and we would happy to help you.
Collaborate with the SkilloVilla community today.